Welcome to the Gold+Roundup. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin.
And we're here giving you the review of the Games with Gold and the PlayStation Plus games for the month of May. Your time is valuable. Our time is valuable. We want you to know what's good and what can just be completely ignored out of all these free games.
Indeed. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Xbox One, Lara, Croft, and the Temple of Osiris. It's a top-down, you have lots of shooting and guns and stuff, and the lore is good, the story is fun, the characters are interesting, and most importantly, the gameplay is fun.
Yes.
There's lots of stuff that you can run through and collect. There's different challenges for each individual tomb that you're going into. There's an overall story that's pulling you in. I really enjoyed my time with this game. The set pieces, all of it was fun. So I highly encourage you to check this out.
Yeah, so if you have an Xbox One, that is free on Xbox One with your Games with Gold. By the way, we do encourage you guys to grab these games as soon as they're available. Grab them, put them on your account, because you never know if you want to go back and play them. And they're free. Just go ahead and grab them because they're free. So that's on Xbox One. On PlayStation 4, we got Tales from the Borderlands, which is a great Telltale game. Maybe not one of their best, but a fun dip your toe into the Borderlands universe and being able to go through the Telltale way of telling that kind of story instead of just bang bang shoot 'em up the whole time.
Yeah, and I also like this because the world of Borderlands is really interesting.
Yes.
So even if you don't like the shooter genre of Borderlands, this is a way for you to experience that world, which is hilarious.
Yes.
In a different way. And so if that's something that appeals to you, check that out. Next up, we have a bit of an aberration because if you're in the US on PS4, one of the games you got was Abzu. Highly recommended. Beautiful, peaceful. It's the only game I've ever seen that came with a screensaver. Because if you just leave it alone for a while, then like the camera will start zooming in on different fish and giving you their like correct names, and so you can learn about fish and just explore. The puzzles are interesting. It's journey underwater, and it's beautiful and lovely. And then if you're in the EU or in Japan, you got Alienation, which is a twin stick shooter from the same people that gave us Resogun, which was a magnificent game.
Yeah.
So this is a top-down shooter, so slightly different, still twin stick, and there's a loot component to it. I really didn't get into that much, and then I don't really like to play with people, and that's something that you have to do. But if you're okay with loot, the system can be a little bit confusing. Look it up, check it out, because that's the way to play. And then if you can get people, especially people you know, to play with you, this game could be for you. It's not for me because those two elements turned me off of it, but I see where they were going with this. It's pretty, it's tricky, it's challenging, it's difficult, it's fun. I just don't want to play with other people.
Yeah. One game that I want to play, and I was glad to go back and play, is a Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. Boot up your Xbox 360 if you've got one. If you don't, if you have an Xbox One, it's backwards compatible. Fantastic game. I think that this the story involved, I won't go into spoilers on it, but the story in regards to Starkiller, going from the first Force Unleashed game, which we got last month or the month before, and now going into this one. The story is great. The Star Wars universe and this legacy style lore is phenomenal. The voice acting in here is fantastic. Natalie Cox returning on this, who's fantastic. Met her in person, she's cool. I highly encourage you to play this game if you have not. Great battles, great action, lightsaber stuff. One of the best ones in my opinion.
There you go. And dropping from the great and the recommended games, which we always like to lead with, we have Blood Knights on PS3, which is like a vampire versus the Crusaders type thing. I believe the phrase that I used to describe this game to you was aggressively mediocre.
Yes.
Like the voice acting is very like early voice acting, hamming it up.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like the Lucasfilm serious games.
Yeah.
I can't believe that we are linked by blood, and like there's And then the gameplay itself isn't a whole lot of fun. There's no reason to ever play as the knight. Like you're playing as a knight / vampire. Mm-hmm. They're joined because of something.
Doesn't make sense.
And they're eating the moon. I don't know why, and I didn't care. So go ahead and pass on this one.
Basically, don't turn on your PlayStation 3 this month because the other game is Port Royale 3 or Royale 3, Pirates and Merchants. And
even though there's a colon in this,
Usually you love colons, but in this case, just totally not worth it. So this game, I think, would have been better if it had a better interface. I honestly don't know if it's on mobile, but it should be on like mobile or tablet.
There you go.
The idea behind this is you basically are a merchant and you're selling. You're running merchant ships. Right.
Okay.
So you're running you're buying ships. You're running different kind of like, think of like a board game where Settlers of Catan, like this area produces wood, this area produces sugar, this area produces this.
Okay.
Let's have a boat that goes through all this and sells to all that.
Right.
So a lot of the game kind of does it for you automatically, but the interface, it's not intuitive. In regards to the interface, it's not intuitive in regards to what they want. One of the first things that it tells you to do is, hey, Port-au-Prince has sugar, and we need sugar to make our rum. So send a boat there and get 100 sugar. And I'm like, okay, I sent the boat there. Now what do? Nothing's happening. You have to set it up as a route, and they're going to do it for you. You're not selecting sugar; it just does it for you. I didn't know that. The game didn't tell me that, so I completely skipped this game. I'm sorry. Let me know in the comments if it gets better, but it was just rough, really rough.
Yeah. Lego Star Wars 3, continuing with Star Wars.
Yeah.
This is the complete saga. This was released, like, it was back on PS3 and Wii and Xbox 360. I briefly checked it out on 360. I originally played it on Wii.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's a Lego game.
I think they're fun. I think the Lego games do a great job of kind of fun for all ages. It's great for a group. Couch co-op on this is great.
Couch co-op is particularly good. The music, I mean, they've got all the Star Wars music you want to hear, and so like there were times when I'd just leave it on, just have the cantina going in the background because I want to. If I'm going to be doing dishes, I want to do it with the cantina.
I think this one's great for families, for kids, for couples. I play these with Whitney, and it's fantastic because it's not crazy stressful, it's encouraging, it's fun, it's just fun, and I think sometimes you need that in games.
All right. Yeah. Then we had Giana Sisters, which you also played.
For the Xbox One. So Giana Sisters, I think is pretty good. It's not great, but for a smaller developer, I really enjoyed it. I love how the game kind of just throws you in old school, like a Sonic game, where it just throws you into the game and go.
Good luck.
It teaches you as you're going through. Some of it is less intuitive than others, but it's a fun, casual platformer with added elements of going between these two worlds. I didn't see an explanation for what they were, but one being like over bright and everything's just blossoming and the flowers and the trees are just flourishing, and the other one where everything's like kind of dying. But going between those, like doors will have opened and closed. It's almost like a time mechanic where like a bridge will be open or be down or up, and you go between that as you're going through the platforming. So it's fun platforming. It's also I like this because it's easy for kids. The traditional like jump on an enemy kills the most of your mobs, and it's very forgiving with that jump, like as opposed to having to be exactly on their head. Sometimes I hit quite slightly diagonal, countered it. So I think that was cool for the audience that they're trying to go for on this. I think it was fantastic.
Okay. If you want a lousy platformer, on the other hand, you can play Typewriter on the Vita, which was a game about the history of typing, which I could have just done Wikipedia, and I encourage you to do that because you're playing as a colon. I should have liked it. But the thing is that you can jump anytime either one of the two dots, which you can rotate.
Okay.
Is almost touching a platform.
You're playing a colon or a semicolon?
It's a colon. It's two dots.
I was just trying to figure. I didn't get to play it, so that's why I was trying to figure out, like, is there a different property? Why would you switch? Like,
no. It's a rotating mass.
Yeah.
That they tell you that you have control of, but the way that the physics are, you're actually controlling the entire sphere, and the graphics are showing you as in a different place, and it's nope.
Yep.
And so the puzzle bits of the platforming were particularly tricky, and I'm good at platforming.
Yeah.
So if it was a skill-based thing, I feel like I would have found it. But especially toward the end, like it was way easy up until like the last 2 stages and the bonus stage. Beat it in maybe 2 hours or so, but the last couple of challenges, it was just luck. Yeah. Like I'm just rolling through this thing trying to get to the other side, and eventually, without really doing anything different, I succeeded.
You still did it, yeah.
And
that's
so, yeah, go ahead and skip that.
Yeah.
Lazer Dungeon Defenders is a game that would be fine. It could raise to the level of fine if the physics were right.
Yeah.
But there is no acceleration on the jet thrust packer.
And this game should be right up your alley.
Yeah, it's a twin stick shooter. It's a roguelike, and you're like building more things. And Disco prefaces techno, so I liked the music. But yeah, like whenever you're either going full speed or you're not going at all.
Yeah. And
that is a physics thing that made it feel like a student project. And then you have lasers that you shoot at enemies, and then you then have to dodge your own lasers.
Yeah.
Which is fine, except for the fact that they give you all these different guns, all of which are more dangerous than the default pew gun. So you're only ever going to use that gun. So why did you even give me these other guns?
That doesn't make sense. Yeah. So this month, I think Xbox really took the cake.
Oh yeah.
In this month,
because all of the Xbox games are worth picking up and checking out at least.
They definitely are. PlayStation didn't win it this month, but I mean, Tales from the Borderlands.
They did give us an extra game.
And they give us an extra game.
If you have an European and American account?
I guess so.
I don't know.
But let us know what you thought about those games, what you think about the Xbox games with the Gold and PlayStation Plus, which one you prefer, or if you just prefer Steam. Let us know in the comments. We'll check you guys out later.
Keep coming back. We'll do this next month, because we do it every month.
Yeah, we do.
Bye!
Bye.